you purchased my piano course. And from what I understand, you had some pretty good success, some good results. You're enjoying your piano now. And I'd just love to talk to you about your experience. And I appreciate you agreeing to join me on this.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. No, you've really, really opened me up. I tell you, I'm so grateful for finding your course. I really am. Yeah, it's great. 30 years of really wanting to play, so it's great.
Well, let me ask you this first, because you've sent me yourself playing the piano on multiple occasions, and almost every time it's Shania Twain. What's with the fascination with Shania Twain?
Well, no, Shania Twain, "When You Kiss Me," that was my wedding song. So that was the first one that I really wanted to learn. And it turns out it's really quite simple chords, but it was so lovely to be able to play it. But I love all kinds of music. Eva Cassidy. I've done some Christina Perri, stuff like that. I love it all. I'm basically an 80s boy, so I'll go back to that because I am just turning 60 shortly. So.
Well, it's funny because you're what, 35 years old, 40 years old, something like that.
Thank you. Yes, no, I'm 59, just about to turn 60. So I purchased your course when I just took an early retirement, and I thought, hell, let's do something I've wanted to do for the last 30 years. And I did play the piano originally when I was 11 years old, but I was told by my school friends that it was not cool to do that, and I bowed to the pressure. And the next 30 years of purgatory, knowing that I'd love to play, and I just couldn't, one-handed stuff with what everybody does. And so I looked at all kinds of different courses, and I tried a few little bits. I never actually purchased a course, but I looked at different YouTube videos and self-help and teach methods, and they just really weren't working for me. And then I found yours. So your one, personally, your first three little giveaway things, I don't know what you call them, but my eyes just exploded. I couldn't believe the 4-3 and the 3-4, I think, was the eureka for me. And it then taught me that actually I could identify any chord at all. So that just opened me up.
Well, the audience here is not necessarily people looking to learn how to play piano. There are some people, but the audience is more people looking to make an online course about whatever their hobby is. And so you say 3-4-4-3, that's what really opened your eyes. I think the takeaway for people is that I gave away probably my number one tip for learning piano for free, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds like you appreciated that as a student, as a potential student, that you were able to actually learn a great deal from me even before you paid me any money. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, your 4-3 was a huge giveaway, but it got me hungry because I thought, if you're giving that away for free, what else can you show me? And but yes, it was a really big giveaway, and I'm so glad I did the whole course because there's so much in there for me to dig back and refer to, using the two hands differently on different chords and how I read it. So I'm not afraid of the keyboard anymore. I'm seriously not afraid. And if I find a tune that's got a chord in there that I've never seen before, okay, well, I can work out some of it. I'll know what a sustain is and I'll figure it. But then I'll just go and check it on the internet and make sure I've got it right. And I write my music. The music that I do now, I rewrite it on a sheet here with the chords at the end, and if necessary, a little pictorial just to remind me of a really awkward one. But the way for me that it's expanded for me is that now I'm fiddling with what I'm getting from what's the name of the where I get the chords from?
Yeah, the Ultimate Guitar website.
Yeah, so I get that, but then I'll find a song that's got an A right the way through the first line, and I'm thinking, nah, there's more to this, and I fiddle, and then I'll expand it, and I'll add my own little bits, and that's the joy to me, because what you teach is not a restrictive type of piano. What it is, you got the main thing, your chords, you know where they are, you can find them, brilliant. But now you can throw your own emotion in, and you can just, how are you feeling? Are you feeling sad? Pick up a sad song, play it sadly, add a little bit of something in there, and if you're feeling happy, bounce.
So a few minutes ago, I mentioned age. You know, you're a nearly 60-year-old guy, a British guy. You know, I'm over here in the United States, and the reason I was bringing it up is because you love Shania Twain. You mentioned Christina Perri. That type of music is not normally associated with piano lessons, and I'm sure that you saw an opportunity to play that type of music with my course. Do you think that song selection is? Would you say that's the big reason that your other attempts to learn how to play your keyboard failed, or is there something else?
No, I think you're right. I think, you hear so many different songs and you want to play them, and they're not a piano song, but you want to play along anyway. And so you just need to know the chords. So, there's stuff you hear on TV and soundtracks going on, and I tend to jot them down and I'll have a look and I'll just see, can I make something out of this on piano? It doesn't restrict you to just picking piano songs. However, it is now, I've been doing this for a few months now, and I am sort of getting into the stage of, let me try and find something that's a bit more challenging that is a piano song. But that's another challenge, each challenge at a time. But at the moment, I just throw my own emotion into whatever in the instrument that you've shown me not to be afraid of, I think.
So next, can you? I know it's been about a year since you signed up for my program. And so if you don't remember exactly, it's not a problem. But take me back. Do you remember how you even found my stuff to begin with?
I was searching. It was in February that I actually signed up with you. I was just searching. I think I have Logic Pro in my system, so and that's got a little self-teach thing, and so I started to look at that, and that wasn't really all that helpful, but that's what got me into wanting to. And it was just combing the net until I found something. And I don't know what your catchphrase was, forgive me, but whatever it was, it caught my eye, and there's so much out there that says, you can do this in 24 hours and you can do that. And so I looked at yours as speculatively as anything else, and listened to your first one. And after the first one, I was hooked. I really, really wanted to hear more, waiting for the third, got the third, and then I just thought, do you know what? This is going to help me. This is going to do what I need it to do. Because at my age, I'm not going to start learning, the score and stuff like that. I don't want to do that. I just want to feel the emotion of music. All my family are musical. They play guitars mostly. But for me, this is my instrument, I've found. And I just want to feel the emotion through it. So that's what I do.
That's awesome. And I mean, I'm just so honored to have been able to help you. Like the fact that you live so far away and I've had a small impact on your life just means the world to me. It's incredible that this is possible, with the internet and everything. And so every time I talk to you, I just, you're just so giddy about your ability on the keyboard now. It's just so cool. Yeah. So if you remember back in January, February, we're talking about the videos, right? And so the way that I do things is I try to give a lot of information away for free. That way you can take that information, apply it to your keyboard or piano, and figure out if it's actually going to work for you before you sign up and actually pay for my program. And that's exactly the process that you went through. So for people not familiar that are listening to this, that are not familiar with how that works for my website, Piano in 21 Days, you originally found my website, and then I had a free workbook to offer. It was like the first 5 days of my course and a free workbook. So you get that. A few days later, I sent you the first of 3 videos. So I send you about 3 15-minute long training videos, and that just kind of goes in conjunction with that workbook. So I'm giving you this workbook, 3 so in total about 45 minutes of training, and that's all before you even have the ability to purchase the course. And so what you're saying is that through all that free content, that's what convinced you that you knew you wanted to buy the course, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you built it up in those 3, and each one taught me something fundamentally new. and finishing off with the 4-chord song. My wife still talks about me bouncing along. I was bad, man. I was bad, but you know what? It was giving me so much fun. I knew that was it. I'm going to get my credit card out and I'm going for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, David. If you would have, the very first time you found me, if I just had a page up and like had a sales video and was like, here's everything you're going to get out of the course, would you have signed up?
No. I can't. No, I have to be honest. No, I needed to see your technique. I needed to understand how you were going to progress me, and writing it down or just a short little clip of, in 1 week you'll do this, in 10 days you'll do that. That wouldn't have worked for me. I'm sure I would not have parted with the money. No.
Okay. Now, whenever the opportunity came to actually be able to enroll in the program, you didn't just go to a web page and purchase, right? We actually spoke on the phone. Is that right?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. We talked. You wanted to know what I was hoping to achieve and whether it was a fit, because there's no point teaching me how to. If I'm expecting to learn sheet music, that's yours is way more free and way more open, and it's exactly what I was looking for.
Right. So I've probably done over 500 of those phone calls to date, and I don't do as many today. Just, I had my second kid a few months ago, and ever since she was born, I'm doing less of those phone calls and more, thank you, and more of letting people, like trying to just provide more information online to where people can just go buy online. But what did you think of that phone call process? Because I have zero sales background, and I wasn't trying to make it a sales call. I was genuinely, and I hope you felt this way, I was genuinely trying to see if this was a fit on both sides. And if so, be there to answer your questions. And if you really wanted to sign up, help you to sign up and make sure everything was smooth on the sign up process. Is that how you felt about the phone call?
Yeah, it's strange. It's almost, my wife sort of said, he's going to phone you? It's going to be a real person? And I'm thinking, because it just doesn't happen with the web,
Yeah.
It's a real person going to talk to you. The guy that's going to show you said, yep, he is. And then after coming off the phone, it just doesn't happen. And it was a lovely touch. And so, yeah, I hope you still do it, because it did mean a lot, because it meant that, you and I had this connection. And I do apologize. I do occasionally send you a little tune here and there. It's because, I don't know how old you are, but I'm probably almost double your age. And I'm still going to show you, look, I can do this now. I'm just so pleased with it all.
Well, that's another reason I like to do the phone calls, is to just kind of set up that relationship. I think you would be less likely to have sent me those clips if we hadn't spoken to begin with. And I think you've done that 3 or 4 times. And I got to tell you, every time you send me something, it's better than the time before. I remember the very first time it was a little clunky. Oh, yeah. But you sent me a video. When I asked you to be on the podcast, you sent me your latest clip. And I mean, even since the last one you sent me, you've come a long way. Absolutely.
Thank you. I mean, it's just because I love doing it, and I just love to try and work. I mean, I'm lucky because I'm retired now, and I do have time, and I do it late at night, so I do have time. But I'm just thoroughly enjoying expanding my own knowledge and being able to express myself in slightly different ways. So, like I said, I'm now looking for more piano-oriented type music, just to stretch myself and see just how good I can be. Because when I'm playing across a piece of Shania Twain, for instance, then I take Shania Twain off and I listen to my own piano. I can see where my issues are. And at the moment, I know that my left-hand issue is I'm not pressing hard enough. You can't always hear it. So that's a great learning curve. I've now got to understand how to do that. So, yeah. And each bit of music teaches you something different. I think you called that finger the pinky finger. I use the bass in the middle finger. Sometimes, not always, and it just depends on what the music is, and it just comes through you. So yeah, I'm babbling on.
So you signed up for the course in February, and you had experienced some of my free training and everything. You go ahead and sign up. You're obviously excited about it. Did the course live up to your expectations?
Yes, I think the the one thing that I think we talked about, because I had to phone you almost immediately, was understanding transpose, because I just didn't know what was going on, why I couldn't match it. And then I think I even bothered you again with a second phone call about inversions, because I wasn't fully picking up on that. You helped me out on that. So those were the two things that I found a little bit, that I had to get in my mind straight first before I could continue. But yeah, no, once I got that, your stuff about the flashcards and stuff like that, absolutely go through that. It pays off. It really does pay off. And once all of a sudden you found your E or your F chord, or without even looking down, because you just gone boom straight in. And I think the first, I was expecting that the first song I learnt would take me ages, and it did. Then I expected the second one would take me ages, but it didn't, because 2 or 3 of those chords were the same, and I'd already learnt, and my muscles had worked out, my fingers had worked out where to go. Now, touching wood, I can almost pick up anything and play it badly, but I can play it just by looking at it and seeing it almost straight off now. And that's the big joy, because my wife will say, or somebody will say, can you play this? No, well, let's have a look at the chords. Well, yeah, and I can more or less play along with the YouTube almost straight away. And that's that's incredible.
As you were going through the course, my videos were obviously pre-recorded. It wasn't me literally teaching you live, like this conversation is, we're directly conversing. But did you find that was a problem in any way? And what I guess what I'm getting at is, I probably made it clear to you in my emails and in our phone call that, look, once you sign up, like, I'm here to help you. If you have questions, reach out to me. So did you feel like you had like an actual teacher teaching you piano?
I felt I could call on you in any time. I think you made that quite clear. So, and I did. I sent you a couple of questions and you responded very quickly. I liked the video format because everyone learns at different rates, and certainly some people will find one bit harder than another. So I would stop the video and I would try out what you're talking about. Then I'd skip back and watch again and again. I liked seeing your hands on the keyboard and the drop down, so I could see exactly what was coming up as well. And that was very useful to me, because I would refer to that quite often, because you use quite a lot of inversions, which again was one thing that I was having trouble with. And it was understanding, seeing the keyboards and seeing that, then I understood what was going on.
Okay. So, all right. So do you think that, if somebody's listening to this and they don't necessarily play piano or anything, but they have this hobby that they want to turn into an online course, is that, do you recommend having like a personal component? And as somebody who has taken an online course and had success with it, do you have any other advice for somebody like that?
So somebody's setting up another online course?
Yes.
Oh, that's not my expertise. I liked the way you did it, Jack. I really did. It suited me. I felt I had a connection with you. I felt I could call on you at any time. And I can't fault your content. I thought you were throwing away too much with your three first videos. But you hooked me to know more, and I'm glad I did, because there's lots more in there. So I can't fault what you did. I'm not into the sales selling side of things. I wouldn't know anything about setting up an online course myself.
No, I'm just talking purely from the student experience part of things. As a student, is there anything you like seeing? And I don't know how many online courses you've taken, David. I mean, is this the only one you've ever taken?
The video, I've done other online courses. It's all been written down stuff and reference stuff. But no, this is the only one with video type content, and it was very necessary for the job that I was trying to achieve. So I loved it. I loved the way you did it. I loved the personal interaction. I think it made it real, and it's why I bug you with the occasional tune. I'm sorry about that.
No, please keep doing it. I love hearing from you. So I charge a one-time fee, basically. You pay one time, you get lifetime access. You still have access to the course today.
Mm.
Would you have preferred to pay a much smaller amount monthly, kind of forever, or did you like the one-time payment?
No, I think the one part for me, it's yeah, pay once, and the free updates, or it works for me. And I think for most people, just want to know, they don't want to have any possible hidden extras in the end. If you just say, this is the price, I'm worth it, pay the money, and get your money's worth, and I do. And I refer back to it every now and then, and I look at things to better understand. So no, I much prefer that, the one-off, definitely.
Did you complete the course in 21 days?
Did I complete it? Do you know what? I think I did.
You did. No, you did.
I did. My wife's in the corner there saying I did. I did. I can't say I was very good, but I did want to. I did want to do one a day for sure. Sometimes I do some in the morning and then some in the evening. So I did do it within the 21 days. And I was able to play within 21 days, albeit not particularly brilliantly, clunky, but I was able to get through a song. And in fact, some of them, my goal, as I said, was that great Shania Twain song, and I was playing it within 21 days. And so that's why I think I wrote to you and just said, wow, this is happening, man. This is happening. So it's really good.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that you actually finished it within the 21 days, because most people don't. And it's for several reasons. People are busy. You can't get to it every day. I know you're newly retired and you were very, very motivated, which is awesome. But just because you kind of finished the 21 lessons and you'd gone through it and you were playing songs, like, the learning didn't stop for you though. You still went back and were going through lessons and trying to get better and better and better, right?
Yeah, and I'm doing that. I do that all the time. I refer back, and like I said, I set myself little challenges, and somebody will say to me, have you tried this song? And I'll realize that I have to play it slightly differently because of the type of song it is. And so I'm learning different techniques. And yes, it just goes on and on and on. And that to me is the fun of it, because I can only get better. I don't think I can get much worse than I was. I didn't even know what a proper D chord was before. I got that wrong. I can't believe I actually got that wrong. But I've lost myself now. I don't know where I was going.
21 days.
21 days. Yeah, I did 21 days. I did it because I'm retired and I could. And I guess I was trying to challenge you that was challenging me. But, you can do it in 21 days if your mind is set for it. It's not a given. It's not an easy thing. You have to put work in. You actually have to put some time into it. You can't, you have to do those flashcards. You've got to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to get to the next stage. So I forced myself to do it, and I got better and better, and then surprised myself one day where, like I said, I could find the chords without looking. So it's great.
So I'm always looking to make my course like the best it can possibly be. And just like my whole process with the free stuff and just everything. Like, do you have any advice for me, or as somebody on that side of things? Is there anything that I could be doing better, in your opinion?
The only thing, and I don't know if I think you've made some changes to your course actually, but the only thing to me was my having to talk to you about transpose, I think, was because I didn't understand I could do that with my piano or how it can be done. And the other thing for me was you were using inversions a lot, and I think that wasn't clear to me. So sometimes I'd see what you were doing and I'd say, well, hang on, that's not an E, or that's not a C, or whatever. And I think bringing in the idea, even at a high level, the idea of inversions are there and what you're doing, and transitions. I couldn't start. I was almost pulling my hair out at the beginning because I didn't understand the transpose, sorry. So that to me was very, very important. And I would have stopped I wouldn't have continued if I didn't get that transpose under my head and know what was going on. And then understanding your fingering, because it wasn't always clear. But I do some inversions now when they suit me, but most of all time I use the other keys. But those are the only two things, Jack, I think, because they were the things that confused me. I'm sure other people found things slightly different, but they were the two things that I think could have come in earlier on in the course so that we understand.
Well, I'm so glad you reached out, because that was what I would call a definite win-win, because you got to have clarity on those subjects, those topics. And also I think that kind of put me over the edge to re-record those lessons, because I had heard from multiple people that they were having problems with those, but I think you were the only one that I actually got on the phone with and talked it out and really tried to understand exactly what the problem was so that I could fix it for you and for future students as well. And I think that's important. And that's one of the other many reasons that I wanted to speak with you on the phone before signing up for the course as well, is, having done over 500 of those phone calls, I now have a very, very good pulse on people like you, the people that have actually signed up for my program and the people that didn't sign up for my program. And I think a lot of people miss the boat on that with their online courses. They think they can just put something out there on the internet and just like have a sales page. People can go buy it. And it's like so impersonal. And it's just like a way to make some money. And it's not like an actual business that can thrive for years and years and years. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. The personal touch that you gave felt like you had an investment in me. I was investing in you, and you wanted to see me succeed. And that's really important. It's a fair amount of money, and I don't want to just put it anywhere. But if someone says, look, I'm going to help you through this, I'm going to get you through this, you sound like the sort of person that can do it. Let's do it together. And I sounds a bit cliche, but it is almost like we were doing it together, because I knew I could call on you if necessary, and you spill the beans and get me straight. And that was really important.
Well, good. I'm so glad you've been successful, because you provided me with a video testimonial that's on my website to this day, and has a lot of views, and people, it really helps people decide whether the course is going to be for them or not. And I think that a lot of people are going to listen to this podcast episode and watch it on YouTube and get a lot out of it as well. Just to kind of get that side of things.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this has been a pleasure once again, David. I think that's going to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Tell your wife thank you for me. She contributed to this episode as well.
She has. Thank you very, very much.
I love what you've given him, darling. I really do.
Thank you.
Thank you again. It's opened it up, and I don't know. I've blabbered on too much, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoy what I'm doing now, and it's down to your method. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you, David. Hopefully we'll talk soon, and hopefully I'll be hearing another Shania Twain song from you.
If I do ever bother you with another one, I'll make sure it's not Shania Twain. All right.
Take care,
and congratulations. I hope you do well.
Thank you.